Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the expansion Boston Blazers. And we bottomed out this year. It was not a good season for us. We were bad. Nobody wanted our players. It wasn't good. So 66 and 96 in our first season, 79 and 83 in our second, 74 and 88 last year, 59 and 103 this season. We have a contract that's really bad. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Finished the year 251 with an OPS plus of 93. We have him for 5 more seasons after this. I may see if we can move him for, pennies on the dollar. See if we can get somebody, like if we eat 75% of the contract, can we get a 1-star contract, 1-star player back just for the salary dump? We got a couple contracts that aren't great. Josh Lowe was terrible. He was awful this year. Hit 220, 650 OPS. He was okay in center field, but he played mostly in right. So, it was just a bad year. Just a bad year. There are going to be some significant changes, and this is going to be the year of the youth movement. So McCade Brown will be up, Christian Little will be up, Noelvi Marte will be up, Aaron Dotto will be up, Beck will be up, Manzardo will be up, Isaiah Jackson's not that far away. Look at that, a 23-year-old starter with 100 stuff. He'll probably start in AAA, and he'll be up before the season's over with. So we are going to Compton may even be up. So we are starting the youth movement now. And we'll see what we can do from a free agent perspective afterwards. If we look at pitching, just a quick overview of the team stats before we get to the offseason. It was bad. Eflin was 8 and 16, which for him was an improvement. He was 2 and 20 the year before that in Colorado, but he was signed to a 1-year contract, so he's done. Tanner Burns we picked up midway through the season from Cleveland, and he was okay in his time with us. He's still not fully developed, but he'll be part of our team next year. Juan Then was probably our best pitcher start to finish. I don't know if I want him as a starter or a reliever, but as of right now, he's the best pitcher on our team. Caleb Gilbert, who we picked up last year from Houston. He was the 26-year-old rookie. Came in and did a really nice job, actually, so he'll be part of the rotation next year. Fuentes will probably be part of the rotation next year just for lack of other options. Our bullpen isn't terrible. Zach Pop had an okay year with us, 66 games. Clevenger, he's done. He pitched, he was with us for this year and got hurt. Singer's bad. He's gone. Taylor, his ratings suggest he should be better than he is, but he'll be around next year. Sandoval we may end up trading Sandoval. Right now he's considered a reliever. He wasn't I guess he was okay. He was average, literally average last year. Hamilton, good ratings. Didn't pitch particularly well last year, but the ratings suggest he'll be okay. Ojeda, who was one of our big time acquisitions last year, he was a 117 ERA plus. He wasn't bad at all. A few too many home runs, but he's good. I just don't know if he's worth $6 million to us. Hendricks is gone. Ramirez is a rookie who got his first taste and wasn't particularly good, but he's part of the future. And then Patrick Murphy was not very good either. So it's just bad. I go through this. It's just terrible. Jeffers was our best player. Jeffers, Cortez, and Arias were the only 3 kind of plus players on our team last year. Arias we picked up midway through the season for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And he did really well for us, 259, 286, 409, 695 OPS, but he was very, very good defensively. Really good defensively, and provides some additional pop at shortstop. Jeffers, again, 3 straight seasons of at least 3.5 WAR, was good defensively. Cortez, the bat's coming along, but he doesn't really have a home. So with him being ARB eligible, he could be a piece we moved this year as well. Guerrero was terrible. Nothing we can really do there. Beretta, he's better suited as a 4th outfielder. You can see offensively he's just awful. Apostle got some playing time and hit pretty well for us, it looks like. But he's a backup corner infielder. Fraley was bad. Kauser was hurt most of the year, but he'll be back next season as our starting left fielder. Urena, and the rest of these guys were just awful. Just awful. Sergio Alcantara, we signed him for his defense, and he ended up at a negative 1.6 WAR, even though he was positive defensively. The bat just didn't make up for it. So we were just awful. We were just awful. So let's get to the end of the postseason, and let's get to the offseason. A very important offseason for us as we go into our getting ready to start our 5th season. So Houston and the Tigers, Detroit wins the wild card in the American League, Washington and the Padres. The Padres win it in the NL. So you got the Royals, the Tigers, the Rays, and the Angels, the Mets, the Padres, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers. So the Angels sweep Tampa, the Dodgers sweep, best of 5. So the Angels sweep, Detroit's up 2-1, Dodgers sweep the Cardinals, Padres up 2-1, 2-2 between Kansas City and Detroit. Kansas City, the Angels, San Diego, and the Dodgers. So 3 California teams and the Royals. So the Royals take game 1. KC's up 2-0. The Dodgers are up 1-0 in that series. Kansas City's up 3-0. Dodgers are up 2-0. 3-0 in the West, 3-0 in the National League, 3-1 in the American League. Angels take 2 in a row. Dodgers make the World Series, and who will they play in the American League? Angels have won 3 straight games, and the Angels come from 3-0 down to beat Kansas City, and we have an all Los Angeles World Series, the Angels and the Dodgers. Looks like the Dodgers take a 2-0 series lead. Angels come back and win one, I assume, at home. Dodgers are up 3-1. And the Dodgers, what a surprise. The Dodgers win the World Series. They beat the Angels in 5. And we won 59 games this year. So we are going to start over. Score of 1. That's not good. Let's take a look at our mail. So team payroll of around $90 million. So we have about $16 million to play with. Extended our contract. Well, that's good because we can't be fired. Mike Wellman. Top pick in the draft in 2024. He's a beast. We don't have anybody in the top 10. Where is our minor league system? 10th. We have Quintero still a ways away, Jackson, Little, and Brown. So a lot of pitching. All right, salary arbitration. We got a lot of decisions to make here. So those guys can all kick rocks. We are going to offer Arias because, at 3.9 it makes sense. Probably offer him 3.7. No, 3.8. All right. Offer him at 3.8. Save about $200K there. Bednar can go away. All right, so let's just go down the. There's a lot of ARB in here. All right, so Cortez is ARB eligible. He wants $2 million. That seems like a reasonable contract, but can we get anything for him, or does it just make sense to keep him at $2 million? Yeah, nobody wants him. It's a bit of a surprise that nobody wants him. All right. So $2 million for him, huh? Okay, well, that's fine. He's not interested in discussing it with us. He's not happy with us. That's fine. Paredes. Most of these players probably aren't going to want to talk to us. Oh, he is. Okay. So what does he want? 750, so we can bring him back at 725. Urena. Bring him back as a backup middle infielder. 8.65. I'm saving every penny I can here. Fraley. Mangum. I like Mangum. Bring him back at 915. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can bring Fraley back as well. He doesn't want to talk to us. Tom can go away. Vientos at 900. He doesn't want to talk to us. Shirt and Apostle at 1350. Contreras at 800. Doval. We'll bring him back. He got some time in AAA and AA for some reason. 865. Taylor at 950. Yeah, and again, this is all about just trying to save as much as possible, and if we can happen to get like a fan interest bump or something like that from one of them, even better. So Sandoval at 1-3. He doesn't want to talk to us. Pop at 1-2. He doesn't want to talk to us. Hamilton at 1-1. He doesn't want to talk to us. Riley Gilliam at 900. 865 for Gilliam. How long is he out for? 3 to 4 weeks. Then Fuentes at 950 as a swingman. Yep. I'll take that. All right. So does anybody want Sandoval? Because I will trade him. I'd even trade him for somebody else's problem. Yeah, nobody wants him. Shoot. Okay, so what about Ojeda? Are we still in a position where nobody wants him? Nobody wants him. All right, now let's add Vlad up here, and let's try that. If I eat 80% of the contract, does anybody want Vlad Jr.? No. What if I eat all 100? I can't. Let's see my head a day. We may just be stuck with him. I have to hope that at 25 he can rebound, which doesn't always happen, but we may just be stuck with him. Okay. So I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we could just sit here and... Yeah, this just isn't going to be worth it. I mean, because I could just sit here and add 2 star players and get this down to like 80%. But that just doesn't... Yeah, that doesn't seem worth it to me. That doesn't seem worth it to me. So we'll just deal with it. We are stuck with Cortez and Guerrero now, and I just want to see what sort of interest there is in Jeffers. Again, not much. Get Alzolay, Ladodo, Ladolo. He's not terrible. Yaizo Campos. He's not bad either. Henkes from Cleveland. We keep coming back to Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, they keep offering us talent for the players that we have. Like, Bo Naylor's on this list. He's not nearly as good a defensive catcher, but Henkes would be the best pitcher we had on our team. Plesac would be the best pitcher we had on our team. Moreno. I mean, if I can replace him with somebody who's just as good defensively and, you know, maybe he's a step backwards offensively, but is younger. Not that Jeffers is old. He's, 27? Yeah. And he's a 61, 57, 61. So he's okay defensively. He's not elite by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not terrible. Alejandro Kirk is a great bat, but bad defensively. All right. I mean, there are options. I mean, we could potentially make a trade if we, you know, if I really spend some time digging and trying to find the right move, like Oviedo. I mean, he would be our ace. I don't know that that's necessarily fair straight up, but Watley's better defensively. Hayden Junger. And if we were closer to competing, that would be I would be willing to do that. But as it stands now, I'm not. So, all right. So we're going to sim ahead. We're going to sim up to free agency. So when I come back, we'll take a look at the awards and we'll see what we can do. See what we can do from a free agent perspective. So I will be right back. All right, we're back. And so the arbiter decided on the side of Cortez. I think he decided for us with everybody else. Yep. So Cortez gets 2.7, which isn't great. Award winners. I don't think we had anybody, so I don't think it matters. Michael Toglia, 36 home runs, 114 RBIs. Samir Dueñas for the White Sox, 50 home runs. No platinum sticks. Thought we might get a catcher platinum stick, but no. No gold gloves. Drew Pomeranz wins the pitcher of the year, the relief pitcher of the year. Cy Young in the AL goes to Daniel Lynch. In the National League, Jack Flaherty. Wander Franco wins the MVP in the AL, and Bellinger in the NL. All right. Some ahead of day. I have a player. Fine. Both of these players can come over here. And let's see where we stand financially once we get through this. $18 million, and we have $5 million for next year. So let's bump the ticket prices up again. Yeah, we won't be paying out that much because Lowe is gone. Ojeda, we will likely either move or DFA or non-tender next year. So there will be more money available than what's listed here. So let's look at the, that's not where I wanted to go, international market. Got any young players here? Nope. Looks like a bunch of trash, unfortunately. Yep. Free agents. Morejon. Jordan Alvarez. Joey Gallo. Pablo Lopez. I would love to have at least $14 million and a comp pick, which I'm not prepared to do. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring up all the players that we plan on bringing up. We'll just leave it like that for now because I don't think Compton is ready, although he will get called up. Bowser will get called up. Medeiros will get called up. Jensen will get called up. Bruno will go there. Perez will go there. Shoemaker. Council can stay there for now. Dirk can go up. Freeland. 631 OPM. Okay, so those guys can stay where they are. All right. So he's not going to be a starter. He's not going to be a starter. We're going to have Then, Brown, Gilbert, Little, and Beck. I think those are our 5 starters. I think our pitching staff is okay. I don't think we need to add anything to the pitching staff necessarily. I would like to make Then a reliever if I could. But that's going to require me. Does anybody want him now that the year is flipped? No, it's crazy. What about if I eat 75% of the contract? Nobody wants him. I don't understand it. Nobody wants him at all. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go through one more season with him, and whatever happens, happens. Are there any other bullpen arms that we want? I mean, we've got some decent relievers, right? I mean, a bunch of 3.5-star: Murphy, Doval, Gilliam, Hamilton, Ojeda, Pop, Ramirez, Sandoval, Taylor. I mean, they're all 3.5-star and up relievers. It's our lineup, though, that is just an absolute abject mess. So Marte is going to be our second baseman, which means Cortez is going to be what? Our starting left fielder? And we make Kauser, or maybe we make Kauser our right fielder. We do something like this. Game strategy. We do something like that. So if we clear this, so and I'm not putting these in here in terms of batting order. I just want to see where we stand from a lineup perspective. So we have our catcher, we have our first baseman, we have our second baseman, we have our shortstop. Alcantara is still technically our third baseman, which, that's what he is for right now. We'll have Cortez in left, Barreda in center, and Kauser in right. So that is our line. That is our offense right now, and it's really, really bad. So we could definitely use a new center fielder, and we could definitely use a new third baseman. We can get upgrades pretty much anywhere, but those are the two that I think I'm going to focus on here in the offseason: center field and third base. And then if we have to just cut people, we just cut people. I think we give the backup catcher job to Arredondo. I'd like to get Manzardo out there some. Maybe he could platoon with Vlad. I don't know. All right, so let's look at the offseason. So third base and center field. That's kind of going to be our main focus. There's Jung Hoo Lee. I was waiting for him to show up. He's 26 in this one. He's almost fully developed. He doesn't want a lot of money. He would basically want the entirety of what we have. So Ramirez only wants $16 million, but he's not the same Jose Ramirez. There's Connor Falefa is $18 million. Kyle Lewis, very good defensively. Bring in Austin Riley. He's okay. Senzel only wants $6 million. Maybe we bring in a Nick Senzel and just if we have to play him in right, Kauser in left, and then Cortez is our bench bat. Leadoff hitter, so that's an option. Doesn't really fill the needs that we were talking about, though, right? Third base and center field. Problem is there just really aren't any options here. Nobody here is any good. He's not terrible. I guess he kind of is. Goldie. Adam Hazley. Again, not bad, but he's not really a center fielder. Austin Hayes, same thing. Not a terrible bat, but not really a center fielder. Now, Laureano is a center fielder. It's 1 year at 3.4. Would you do 2 years at 3? Okay. I don't mind Laureano. He seems like a decent enough bat. Really good against lefties, okay against righties, but very good defensively. More of a right fielder, but the range is good enough. The error and the arm is good, so I think we can get away with him in center field. Moncada at third. No, Moncada would be another 1 year kind of stopgap, which right now that's fine. That's all we that's all we're really looking at are stopgaps. I kind of want to bring in Senzel as well and then just figure it out. I feel like if we have Senzel and Laureano in our lineup, yeah, I mean, he could be our leadoff hitter. He would be, I think we go Senzel. If we can get Senzel, I don't want to sign him to a 5-year contract, though. What if we do 3 years at 5 with a team option on the 3rd year? Okay. All right. So if we can bring in Senzel and Laureano, that improves our offense, and it might allow us to hide our third baseman at third base. And then we can keep an eye on Riley. I mean, maybe he becomes cheaper, or Kiner Falefa even becomes cheaper, and maybe we bring Isaiah back. We have no money left for next year, but again, I think that will change. We look at pitchers. Urias only wants 7.5, but he's out for 6 weeks, and he's not the same Urias. I mean, he hasn't been bad. Luzardo is a name I was looking at, but it's a comp pick. I don't want to give up a pick. Morejon is only 20. If he wasn't a comp pick, I might take a shot at him. But again, we don't really need, per se, a pitcher. I mean, I'd like a better pitcher, but we don't really need a better pitcher. So just sort of looking to see if there's anybody here that might be sort of a good value. We can bring Sonny Gray back. He was really good in his 1 year with us. This guy's 27. He wants $10 million. Meh. It's more than I want to pay, especially considering you would probably want long term. All right. So I think those are the two moves we're going to make right off the bat. Senzel and Laureano. If we sign them both, one of them becomes our center fielder, and then we figure out the outfield situation. So I'm going to sim ahead up to the Rule 5. When I come back, if there were any deals that were made, I'll show them to you. Otherwise, we will do the Rule 5. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's get to the Rule 5. Neither contract has been signed yet, and we haven't been able to make a deal because, again, nobody wants any of our players. Now, that being said, I do have a trade pending. Where can I see it? Here? Nope. Trade. Pending. I have a deal with... right here. With Philadelphia to send Cortez and $750,000 in cash for a starting pitcher by the name of Spencer Howard. So I'm just waiting to hear back on that. Howard's a 28-year-old, looks pretty good. And it would move Cortez. It would be a lateral move from a ratings perspective, but it allows us to free up a spot in left field. He's not going to play second base for us anymore. That's Marte's position. There are a lot of really good players on here, players that I would love to make a run at. Mainly the one that I was looking at the most was... but where is he? Matt Chapman, right here. But he's making too much money, and Oakland doesn't want anything we have. It's that contract to Vlad Jr. That one is really killing us. So you can see now we have a little bit of money for extensions, which is nice, which means, we got a bump here. We're stuck. We're a little bit stuck this year. This is not going to be a good year for external improvements. Next year we'll move Lowe's 5.2 off the books. Cortez will be gone. That's $10 million right there. We may look to move on from Jeffers this upcoming season. At this point, by the time we're good, he's going to be in his 30s, so we may as well send him someplace and give him an opportunity to to perform. So really, the only albatross contract, or the only contract we're going to have that's going to be, really paying anybody any amount of money at all, is Guerrero. And we can't do anything about it. I mean, there have been a couple of players who have been available if we've eaten 100% of the contract, but I mean, what's the point, right? I mean, if we got to pay him, we got to pay him. So, the problem is nobody has any money. That's been the biggest issue that I've seen, is that nobody has any money to eat any more of the contract. Like, you see the Cubs have got $3.5 million. And we bumped this down to 90%, and they want a good player. So, I mean, is it worth saving 5% to move Vlad for Frankie Montas? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to keep trying. I will absolutely keep trying to move him, and hopefully I can find a team that has some money as we move forward. Nobody has any money. I would be happy to take a contract back this year as well. Cleveland really wants to give up Emmanuel Clase, or however it's pronounced. But nobody else has any money. Yeah, Cincinnati's got $4 million. They've got 1.3. Miami's not going to have any money. Yeah, they're already negative. Yankees have no money. And nobody's got any money. So it's just kind of where we are with it at this point, I guess. Anyway, let's take a look at our minor league system, see if there's anybody we want to put on the Rule 5, and then let's get to some Rule 5ing. Marcelo Perez. If somebody takes him, somebody takes him. That's fine. But there's nobody there, nobody there, nobody there. All right, Rule 5. So we have the number 2 pick, because Las Vegas was worse than us. So we're not even going to get the number. We lose 59. We win 59 games. We're not even going to get the number 2 or the number 1 overall pick this year. So, all right. Okay. What am I looking for? I guess technically I'm looking for bats. Perez. He's only 21. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad option. I'd like him to be a little bit better in center field, though. I mean, defensively, he's no good, and that's not going to do me any good. Buelvas. Looks like a pretty good bat, good speed, but again, not great defensively. Christian Cairo, no. This is disappointing. Last year we took what? Would we take 6 players off the Rule 5 last year? 7 players, something like that. Espinal. He's not bad defensively. Hit really, really well in AA last year, but the bat is meh. Yeah, nothing great so far. Nothing great so far. Seth Holloway's a pitcher. He's one of our pitchers. Right. Camden Hayslip. He's not a center fielder. He's got some pop in his bat, but he's not a center fielder. So get out of here with that. If he was a center fielder, I probably would have taken him. Geraldo? Yeah, Jimenez is a decent center fielder, right? Yeah, he's a decent center fielder, but his bat, I mean, he was okay in AAA last year. I mean, below average with the bat. He's got some good speed. But we have a couple people coming in that can play center field, so I'm not too concerned about that. Or potentially coming in, assuming we sign them. Alex Mooney was a 17th overall pick. He's flamed out as well. Just like our first round pick that year is flamed out. Well, I shouldn't say that Kowser's flamed out yet. He was hurt most of last season. Penango, who's always on there. Rock Riggio? Meh. It hasn't really developed. Corey Robinson can't play defense. Nick Schnell can play defense, has a little power. Jonathan Scope, because he's in our minor league system. Well, that's kind of disappointing. There's just not a whole lot here. But I can't depend on the Rule 5 to restock my roster every year, right? Like, that's not a thing. I mean, do we take Jesus Galiz? Like, we don't really need another catcher, but if we took Galiz, we could immediately move on from, we could trade, or do we take Cartaya? Changes his approach. What do they say about Galiz? Above average defensively, productive catcher on a contending team. But this is assuming our scout is right. I mean, if our scout's right, he's going to be a very good defense, or very good catcher. I think we're going to take Galiz. Let's go to our next pick. I think we're going to take Perez just because of the bat and the speed. And then we'll go to pitchers and see if there's anybody there we want to take. Bernie Murray. Bernie isn't a bad pitcher, bad reliever. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. St. Louis, meh. I think there's anybody here we want. Jose Acuna. Nope. All right, that's going to be it. Autocomplete draft. All right, so we take Galiz and... Ooh, who's this guy? We take Galiz and Perez. Okay, so now our roster is shaping up a little bit. Kowser, Cortez. We're going to move on from Cortez. So our outfield, our big league outfield would be Kowser, Perez, hopefully Senzel, hopefully Laureano. So that'll be 4. And then Beretta probably as the number 5 because he's the best defensively. Our infield is still a mess. It's still Jeffers, Guerrero, Marte, Arias, and Alcantara at third. So what we need to do, I mean, we could put Apostle at third, I guess. But we need to try to trade some of this excess for any sort of third baseman. So I think the first thing we do is we look to move on from Jeffers. Let's just see if anybody is interested in giving up a third baseman. Let's get rid of the veterans. Nope. All right. So, not that I expect Mangum will have any real... Yeah, he actually makes it worse. All right. So let's... Trading block. What about now? Can we trade him for Jeffers? We would be over budget, so they would have to retain. So they would take that deal. It gets us Chapman on a 1-year deal. So they don't like that deal. All right, so what else is available? I'm okay with that deal. I'd like to bring in Arenado. These guys are all 1-year contracts, so that's the only problem. Like, their contracts expire, and I'm not going to be able to afford to re-sign them. Buxton, again, his contract is up at the end of the year. I don't mind bringing in someone like Chapman, he's not going to hit for high average, but he's elite defensively. All right, whatever. I'm not going to make that trade right now. So let's go back here. Like, I make the offer, and then it sounds like a good deal, and then I go, I don't know. Let's see if anybody's interested in him. Jose Garcia, yuck. It's just other bad contracts, which isn't a surprise. I mean, that's the way this game works. Huh. Let's just sim ahead. Let's see if we can close that deal with Cortez, by the way. So we'll sim ahead today and see what we get. Nothing. All right, let's see if anybody wants Jeffers for a prospect. Nope. Oh, hell. Okay. I mean, at this point, Arredondo and Contreras go to the minor leagues. Let's try this. He's making 14. So there's nobody that makes it work. I find that hard to believe. But again, I think that's a salary thing. It's because of where our salary lies. What about Bobby D? He's just bad. Just bad. Sam Haggerty. Yeah, I don't want to make deals this year just to make them. You know, we might just have to grind through this season with what we have. I think if we pick up Senzel and Laureano, that's going to make us better. It's going to make us better offensively. It's going to make us better defensively. And this will be the year of kind of the young starting pitchers. Ketel Marte. Still a ton of free agents out there. Again, nobody has any money. Riley's down to $8 million. I mean, we could sign Austin Riley pretty easily. 5 years. I mean, I don't want to sign him for that kind of deal, but I would do this. Make this a team option at... No. Okay, but we'll wait. I mean, he might come back to us. So let's do some Hall of Fame voting. And then I'm going to sim ahead to opening day. So Carlos Beltran, Adrian Beltre. I'm a big Bobby Abreu guy, so we'll give him a vote. We'll give Colon a vote. Helton, King Felix, Torrey Hunter, Andrew Jones, Pedroia because Petey, and Ichiro, who never gets in for some reason. The game hates him. I don't understand why. All right, we're going to sim ahead. I'll be back at opening day, and hopefully we will have signed some players and made some moves. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys. We're back. It is just before opening day, and I wanted to just come back real quick. We made one more free agent signing, and we made one deal. So we did sign Laureano to a 2-year, $6 million contract, and we signed Nick Senzel to that 3-year, $15 million, but it's really 2 years at $10 million, with the third year being a team option. So signed both of them, and then we also signed I signed Kevin Biggio, and I made him a third baseman. His ratings are okay. They're not terrible, but they're okay. He should be fine at third base, and if he can hit right around these numbers here, he'll provide some pop. I think this one's fine. And he was also he's a 4-year deal with 2 years at $5 million and then 2 team options. So we're on the hook this year and next. Gives us a ton of players in our lineup, but that's fine. And then we did make a trade. We traded for Jack Jasiak, a 23-year-old, 3.5-star sinker slider pitcher. He was a second-round pick last year of the St. Louis Cardinals. And for Jasiak, we had to trade Cortez and Ethan Sutton, who's just a 1.5-star pitcher. And I gave them Sandoval as well to get the money off the books because we weren't going to re-sign him. So we may have gotten taken a little bit there, but it gives us the opportunity. We freed up a little bit of contract. We freed up about $4 million in contract space there. Bring in a 23-year-old. And with that and the moves that we made, our owner actually bumped our budget. So we have $20 million this year for free agents. We only have about 4 for extensions, but again, next year we are next year we are going to move on from Lowe, who's at 5.2. We're going to move on from Apostle, probably, especially at 4.2. Ojeda will probably non-tender him at that point. See if we can bring him back for less, because for some reason nobody wants a 26-year-old reliever who's got really, really good ratings. And then again, we can look to move on from Jeffers during the regular season, and we'll run with, Galiz and Arredondo or Contreras, Contreras is down to 2 stars, but probably Arredondo and Galiz. I mean, we'll see how well Jeffers does this year. I mean, I don't want to move Jeffers. I'd like him to be part of the team that's pretty good. The Vlad Guerrero thing is killing me. I mean, this is, I keep talking about it, but this is really what's going to keep us from and I got out ahead of my skis, right? I mean, we had just come off of a 79 and 83 season. I felt like Vlad, given the way his ratings were, that told me that things were that I thought we were in the right place to make that move. We took a small step back in 2023. Vlad went the wrong way, and we bottomed out. I should have just held on to Ohtani and just gone from there, and continued to work the build. But now we're stuck with him, and I was able to find a deal where someone was willing to take him for 90. We had eaten 90% of the contract, and I'm just not ready to do that. So hopefully he doesn't lose any more in terms of ratings over the course of this season, and maybe we can try it again next year. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get through spring training, and when we come back, it'll be opening day. We'll set our rosters, we'll set our pitching staffs, and we'll call it an episode. Be right back. All right. It is almost opening day. We got a couple of days. We are at player development, so let's take a quick look. Christian Little, our number 1 pick just 2 years ago, is already ready to go. Look at those ratings. He looks tasty. Ojeda got worse, but he's still pretty darn good. Isaiah Jackson got better. That control needs to improve a little bit. We'll see how he did in spring training. He might start the season in AAA. I'm not sure yet. Gilbert got better. He's already 28, though, so I think he's pretty much maxed out what he's going to be. Galiz got worse, but is still pretty good, actually. Contreras got worse. Vlad, damn. He's getting worse. Okay. That's gonna be a rough one. Marte got better at second, which is good. Hedberg Perez got better offensively. Defensively, he didn't, and I had him playing every second, third, and fourth day in the outfield, and it just didn't get better, but that bat is tempting, so we'll keep him around. And it's time to cut our roster down. We have 38 players, 16 pitchers, so we only need to send a few pitchers down. Wow, Jackson was really good. Jackson was really, really good. All right, so we have to send 3 pitchers down. So Tanner Burns. I mean, all of our pitchers they all had really good springs. Look at that. I mean, Really, really good springs. So what do we do? Anybody want Ian Hamilton? His contract is up at the end of this year. He and Pop both. No. Okay. So we're going to have to send 3 pitchers down. 3 pitchers that I don't necessarily want to send down. So I think Beck can go down. I don't think he's quite ready yet. Yeah, and we're going to run with this. We're going to run with Juan Then and 4 rookies in our starting rotation. Although Gilbert's not really a rookie. He's 28, but we will do this. We'll go Then, Little, McCade Brown, Jackson, Gilbert, and we got to send 2 more pitchers to the minors. Ian Hamilton because he's regressed. We can't. It's fine. Who are the 2 starting pitchers that Pop and Hamilton, right? Okay. Zach Pop was dominant in spring training. Screw it. He wasn't very good. It's fine. It's DFA. All right, maybe we run with 14 pitchers. I don't know. Let's look at this and see what we can cut down first. So Arenado and Contreras will both go to AAA. Apparently Contreras won't go to AAA. He will be DFA'd and then sent to AAA. Manzardo, Maldonado, Fraley, Lowe, and Mangum. Fraley's going to have to be DFA'd. Does anybody want him? Nope, nobody wants him. So he is going to be DFA'd as well. All right, so where does that leave us? 29. Ugh. All right, so Urena has to be DFA'd. That's 28. Vientos will be 27. And we got to send 1 more down. So I think it's got to be a pitcher. We have to send a pitcher down. Ramirez was good. I think it's going to be Ramirez. I think it's going to be Alexis Ramirez. Apparently, it's not going to be Alexis Ramirez. I mean, he's not that good. He's a ground ball pitcher, though. And you guys know I love ground ball pitchers. Curtis Taylor. Can he go down? Do any of these guys have options? Nope. Anybody want Curtis Taylor? Nobody any good. Nobody any good. All right, whatever. Curtis Taylor can get DFA'd. I don't care. All right, so there's our pitching staff. Then, Little, Brown, Jackson, Gilbert. I'm fine with Gilliam as our closer. Set up Patrick Murphy. Sure, the extreme ground ball. Tanner Burns can be long relief. We want to get him into middle relief. Nope, we want to get him into middle relief. And we want Doval in middle relief as well. So Gilliam with... Here, we'll just do it this way. Gilliam is our closer with Murphy as the setup man, and then Doval, Ojeda, and Pop as our middle relievers, Ramirez, Burns, and Fuentes as our long relievers, Fuentes as the emergency starting pitcher, and then our lineups. Our lineups. All right. So batting ratings. So Nick Senzel will be our leadoff hitter. And then what do we do? Then what do we do? Not only is he our best leadoff hitter, he's our best hitter. So, Cowser is our number 2. I like the contact and gap power. Our number 3 will be Vlad. Our 4 hitter will be Gloriano. Our 5 hitter will be Biggio. Our 6th hitter will be Jeffers. Our 7 hitter will be Marte, and our 8 hitter will be Arias. All in all, that's not the worst lineup in the world. It's better than last year, for sure. And Barretta's not going to play every second game since L's out there every day. We'll give Apostle a chance at first. Give him a chance to play in front of Vlad. Let's copy that. Let's get that in here against DHs. And Hedbert Perez will be our designated hitter. Move him up. Cool. I don't want Galiz batting. I don't want him as my DH. I don't know why the AI does that. It loves to put the backup catcher in as your backup designated hitter. So we'll paste this in here. So against lefties, do we want to do anything different? Nope. I think we're going to leave it just the way it is. We may shift Biggio down, and no, we're going to leave Kauser right where he is. Right where he is. Alcantara can start every 5th game against lefties, though. That's fine. And I don't want Beretta playing every 10th game against anybody. Paste the lineup. Apostle will be the designated hitter. Shift him up. Shift him up. Generate depth chart. Again, not every 2nd game, every 5th game, and that's not going to happen. And we'll just throw him in there too. Cool. All right, so let's sim ahead to opening day. I still don't think we're going to be very good this year, but at least we're going to have some young players that we are leaning on rather than some veterans. And that's a positive, I think. We have a very young pitching staff. I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but I think long term we've got some good young pitchers. And that makes me happy. (13 and 17). We're going to have the number 2 pick in the draft. Play 500 ball, top 100 prospects. We don't have anybody in the top 10 still. Our prospect pool is 4th. Quintero's 11th. Jackson is 19th. Little, Brown, and Marte. So our top 4 are all pitchers. And I am super excited about Isaiah Jackson. That 100 stuff, just an absolutely dominant fastball and wipeout curveball. He could be a beast. 3rd round pick. Very, very excited. Quintero's still coming along slowly, but coming along. So let's see. Preseason predictions has us going 74 and 88, which is good for last place, but considering what we are coming off of, I actually would take that. I would be happy with a 74 and 88 mark. Do we have to do anything with any of our prospects? Nope. Bowser's good where he is. Compton. Jensen is our catcher of the future. He's on his way up. That was a really good trade with Houston. I was really happy with that. Well, I don't even remember what that deal was. I just remember getting a ton of prospects out of it. That's right. They wanted Rizzo, who was the... Wow. I see why. He's turned into a decent pitcher. But now he's with Chicago. They traded him like a month later. Okay. So for him, we got Gilbert, Then, Marte, and Jensen. That works for me. So we give up the number 69 prospect, nice in baseball. We get 77, 129, 137 in Gilbert. Do we need to send anybody up? I think Compton is ready to go up. He's likely my first baseman next season. Bowser will continue to... He'll start in AA. Let's Let's do this. Excuse me. I'm not going to edit that out, so I apologize for sneezing in everybody's ear, but, whatever. Shoemaker was our first-round pick last year, and he's coming along nicely as well. He'll start in Double-A. He could be up within... if he has good development this year, it could be up next year. So, all right, cool. Well, we got some nice young players coming along. No real studs except for the players that are already up here. Jackson, McCade Brown, Marte, and then, but we've got a lot of solid depth. I'm hoping this year, let's actually really quickly look at it's not available. Let's go to rookie draft. So he'll likely be the number 1 pick, Zach Dunn. If he's not there at 1, he'll be gone at 2. Honestly. Josh Little's another good one. And there are a handful of good pitchers here. Not a lot of great bats. I'm assuming that we'll get some more names as we get closer. But as of right now, it's looking like Dunn will probably be the top pick. And then maybe we take a run at Rollins. He's only got an 11 changeup, but he's got a 100 stamina, 100 hold runners, and he's already throwing 94 to 96. Little's another. Little might be the way to go. If we can't get Dunn, I think we go with Little. Oh my gosh. Yeah, again, he's really good, but that 7 changeup as a 21-year-old scares me. So there are going to be some options for us to pick up a really good starting pitcher. I'm excited for it. So when we come back, it will be, I'll probably just sim the first month. And next episode will be May, June, July, like we normally do. And then we'll go from there. So guys, I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of the expansion Boston Blazers. Any thoughts, any suggestions, let me know. If you hate it, let me know that as well. If you like it, even better. I appreciate the support, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.